So I'm going to try and do a series of educative pieces here and to catch people up, because it's very difficult to catch everyone up one by one through Leon, Thaw Victoria, Street Talks with Icebreaker. And I'm a person with disability who's, you know, that's part one. So why have people with disabilities checks gone down? We don't know. I'm under the CRHC, I'm under the BC Housing. My subsidy went down, which meant my rent went up. And this is what BC Housing, I think, is doing. They found a little loophole, like lawyers do, who are grifters and people who are using the government and not helping the people. So I think BC Housing found a little loophole they think they can get away with. And the loophole is they're taking away people's subsidies and their rents are going up. And then when the people are going, what's going on? My rent's going up. They're saying, no, your rent's not going up. What are you talking about? Subsidy went down. Oh my God, does that sound like a legal mumbo jumbo grifting kind of loophole? It's bullshit. So our rents have gone up and no excuse, no reason. There's no reasoning. Like I don't know yet why my subsidy was taken away. Not all of it, but some of it. So my rent went up $125. That's more than the percentage is allowed at one time, as far as I understand, with BC tenancy. Like, I don't know, is there something to do? Isn't there some kind of thing about you're only allowed to put the rent up a certain percent? So can someone please drop the information down below? Because we can't find out. I have an appointment with TAPS, but TAPS is overrun. We need help here, folks. What is the percentage allowed in BC for landlords, including BC Housing, disgusting BC Housing? What are they allowed to put people's rents up? Because not only has my rent gone up $125 in the last month, it just went up. December 1st was the beginning of me paying $125 more in my rent, which comes out of my food money. Now they just tell me in the CRHC meeting around my housing regarding the relocation and the redevelopment, they're telling me that the base lowest rent now is going to be $500. That's the way it's going to be. Does this remind you of Rich Coleman and what he did? Anybody remember what I'm talking about? Rich Coleman changed, went from social housing to affordable housing. So retitled the whole thing, renamed it. And the definition changed. Went from 30% of income to affordable. So anyways, I signed a contract with CRHC and BC Housing for 30% of my income at CRHC in my building. So I have not signed any new contract at all. And they're actually trying to make some people re-sign up for BC Housing. Some of us, like literally, we were told. So we are in the Village of the Green, Village on the Green redevelopment, okay? That's under CRHC, that's under BC Housing. Hey, David Eby. Hey, Grace Lohr, are you paying attention? I don't think so. So basically, we're being told that our rents are now going to be $500. I haven't signed a new contract with that. I haven't. And that goes back to Rich Coleman under the neoliberals, who are now the conservatives. Just call them neoconservatives, because Russ Dad was under the neoliberals. He was under the neoliberals. These people don't care about parties, partisan. They just care about money. Oh my God. So anyways, he did that, and now we're being told this. So people under the BC Housing umbrella, people with disabilities, etc., don't sign anything. And no, you shouldn't have to reapply for housing. That's a scam. That's another loophole that they're doing. They're trying to make you do that so that they can get away with shit. Like, you know, your actual contract, the thing that you signed, the agreement that you have now. Don't get sucked into being told you have to reapply when you're in the housing and you've been told it's going to be redeveloped. I was told to reapply. Of course I didn't, because I'm like, what are you talking about? But people don't do it. And that's coming down from BC Housing. So orders are coming down from BC Housing to CRHC. And here's a message to CRHC staff. So CRHC is under the QP. So if you are a QP, if you are a staff, and you have a union, and you have a shop steward, I think, and I believe, that you need to go to your shop steward and talk to them about this bullshit. How is it that you are being told that you're supposed to oppress people? How is it that you're being told that you're supposed to con people? I know that's not what you want to do. So I think that you got to look at what's going on in the top. And David Eby, this next one goes out. Why isn't the David Eby NDP government funding the subsidies under BC Housing? Why aren't they ensuring that our subsidies are not going to be stopped, and actually they're going to be put more money into the subsidies, because more people are actually suffering? Hello. since COVID, and even before that, we had a crisis. Even before COVID, we had this health crisis. So anyways, people, we need to know our rights, right? Gosh. So a couple of us went and did a rally for people with disabilities and people who are on welfare. Raised the rates and nobody left behind. We went to Grace Laura's office, but nobody was there because they got so little money. I don't know how that even works. You're in government, you have all the power, but you don't have the ability to host your office. Well, I guess that's the NDP with money need to be funding socialism. The NDP with money need to be funding socialism. But geez, it seems like some of these folks are actually social democrats and not socialists. So any socialist still involved in this freaking NDP government, please help get the message to David Eby. Fund BC Housing. And why is that accountant even still there? The same accountant that helped make everything fucked up for BC Housing, for all of us in BC, that guy who left with his tail between his legs, trying to blame everybody else, he helped bring BC Housing down to its knees. And David Eby, you're supposed to be helping take care of BC Housing. It's not being taken care of. Why is that accountant still there? Why is BC Housing dictating to all of us in CRD and CRHC housing and housing across BC? Why are we being dictated to that we are losing our subsidies? Why aren't you fighting for us? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, right, you're too busy with licking the boots of I don't know, police, middle class. What are you doing? Get some socialism. David Eby, come on. I can't even believe it. I don't know why I'm surprised, right? Like, really, honestly. The good news is people are waking up and woke is good. Woke is awesome. That whole story came from black people in Africa. It's awesome to be woke. And that's why white supremacists and Nazis are all, being woke is a they're freaking out on trans, they're freaking out on abortion because they got nothing. All they got is greed, capitalism. So people come together. Come on. There's no left or right when it comes to home. Everybody needs home, right? Everybody needs home. So we all got to come together. And unions are organizing, tenant unions, so that we can make sure everybody gets housed. Trans people, queer people, working class people, people who are white, men are mechanics, carpenters, people who dig in the ditches, whatever. Everybody, unhoused, women, single mothers, people of color, brown people, black people. We all get to have home. So tenant unions is where it's at, and unions is where it's at. And you got to support the union right now, especially the Canada Post strike. Don't listen to the media, because the media is totally owned by the billionaires and the government. And any good reporters that are still out there, well, please make a list of them down below who are actually doing some work. Capital Daily, yeah. Different folks here and there, different news people. Like, just list below who your people are, because nobody knows anymore. That's a long one. Okay, I'm going to end this one, because it's also getting cold and I need to drink my coffee. And need to stop by a couple shelters, check in on people who are spread out thanks to the police state. Again, David Eby, what are you doing around the police state? John Horgan had more balls and ovaries than you do. You're supposed to be better than that. Oh, come on, NDP, social democrats. I guess the people got to rise. Union, man. Organize. Mutual aid, community care. Palestine. Like, come on, Canada's supporting a genocide. Oh. And we have Indigenous trying to protect land and water and trees right here. Not even only in Brazil, in Congo and Sudan, where people are in the worst situations. Unbelievable. I can't even speak about it here. In the Congo, the slavery going on, it's disgusting. And Canada's benefiting from that. So yeah, we could rise up and union strong, and any bad unions, look out, we're coming. Like, seriously, there are people within union who are not there for the people, and they got to go, and the people got to get them out. Awesome. I think I'm done now. So yeah, thanks to one of my neighbors who reminded me that nobody who is already in BC Housing should be having to reapply for BC Housing. That's a scam. Don't do it. You have rights, and don't be bullied. Anyways, all power to the people, and free Palestine. And, like, come on, man, tenant unions, let's go.